Like, tell us, how do you become a validator on PulseChain?
So to become a validator, all you really need is a server, preferably Linux. You're going to run Linux Ubuntu or whatever your favorite flavor of Linux is, and then you're going to go to the gitlab.com/pulsechain.com, and there's some directions and tutorials there on how to install the software. It's easy. It's mostly made with Docker. Docker is a containerization, like virtualization software for Linux. So it kind of lets you run a computer on a computer. So it's really easy. All you do is you go into Linux, you download Docker, then on GitLab, you run the commands. Docker automatically downloads the latest image that Shane, the head dev for the PulseChain, he makes them. So my server just reaches out on the internet, grabs his golden image that he's already made, downloads it, and then it starts running the server. Then it's just some commands, right? You just do it in the terminal. It's a couple commands. Boom. Then what happens behind the scene is my server then it's reaching out to the other validators and nodes, non-validator nodes, and it says, hey guys, give me the blockchain. So I start downloading the blockchain. That takes about 2 or 3 days. Once my server's fully downloaded the whole blockchain, which is going to be all of Ethereum, and then the PulseChain that we're starting, then I'm a validator. So my server, once I'm fully sunk up, then I join the rotation of the 33 validators, and I take turns. We all take turns mining the new blocks every 3 seconds.
So you said 33 validators. You need to meet some requirements to be in that group?
All you need is the most amount of votes, and 1 pulse is 1 vote.
So let's say there's 10 people to go do exactly what you said, set up nodes right now. Would they be participating in the system? Would they be part? Is it like capped at 33, or do they have to say, hey, everyone go vote for our validators, and hopefully we get enough votes to get in to make the cut?
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, they're even right now in testnet. There are like 300 validators registered and ready to go. But only the top 33 actually get to mine the blocks, because you got to have the most votes. The top 33 votes, whoever gets the most money voted to them or Pulse voted to them, that's every day. It's, every day, like the system checks and it recounts. It says, okay, who's the top 33? And then those guys are in. If somebody changes position, let's say you drop down to 34, the next day when it does the recheck, it'll kick out the 34th guy and just the top 33. So it's all depending on.
You have to hold so much pulse.
It doesn't. There's no like limit. There's no minimum. It's just who's got the most and top 33.
The most votes. So the deciding factor is the most votes.
Yeah. So like, let me give you like in testnet right now, I have 220 billion pulse voted for me. The number 2 guy only has 80 billion. The number 3 guy only has 70.
Vote with their money.
Yeah, you vote with your money. Yeah, you literally, 1 pulse is 1 vote. Yeah, you're voting with your wallet. So yeah, so like I got 220 billion voted for me, and then so on down from there.
Very interesting. Okay, and then you kick it off, and you got to make sure it doesn't go down, or you may slip down the ranks and stuff. Like, is there a lot of do you need a lot of CPU power? For example, if you're using Amazon AWS EC2 instances, is it gonna rack up a bill? Like, do you kind of like weigh how much being a validator pays versus how much capex you spend you have?
Yeah, the
capex, OpEx, all that.
Yeah, the most important part is your hard drives, the speed of your hard drives. How many IOPS can you do? Because saving and writing the blockchain and reading the blockchain, that's the struggle. You don't need that much CPU. You don't need that much RAM. Like, it's pretty modest, actually. You could run this on pretty much a Dell regular server, like a Xenon processor, 16 gigs of RAM. But what you want those nice Samsung Pro M.2 solid state hard drives. It looks like a little stick of gum, little laptop ones. Those are fast. Those hard drives are fast. So I got a server that has those M.2 slots on the motherboard. So I put those Samsung Pros right on the Mobo for my hard drives. Man, that thing is lightning quick. So that's all you'd need. Like that's the part that really is the secret sauce of the hardware.
Must have an SSD at least, like some kind of SSD or like a nice one.
Yeah, minimum. So, and that's the bottleneck. As long as you do that, you could probably run this on a freaking desktop, to be honest with you. Like it's, any junk computer will do it, but as long as you got those hard drives. So, but then you got to worry about redundancy, fiber internet, power, firewalls, backup hardware. What if it blows up? You got a spare, stuff like that. So,
okay. Is there any? You talked about the security and stuff too. Is it? And that's one of my specialties. Just curious, like, do validators getting hacked? Is that a thing that happens from time to time? Like, is there like, oh, validator get hacked, and it just drops down, and they're like, oh, now we're not in the rotation, they're losing money, all this stuff. You hear any stories about that? Or
yeah, I think it's pretty low risk, because you don't really need any. There's no port forwards coming in, so I don't have to poke any holes in the firewall. For me personally, for security, I'm super paranoid. So like, I don't even have SSH open through my firewall, right? Like, you know what I mean?
You're managing through like console.
Yeah. Or like I can't talk too much about my security, but from a remote location, I connect via VPN to the firewalls. I VPN in, and then I have access to the server on its local network. But like, there's no external connections without that VPN. And
you mean you don't use the VPN at home for security?
Right. Yeah.
You use it to like get into another network and do stuff there. That's actually its use case.
Yeah.
I had this whole rant about VPNs, and like, so that just, it reminded me of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I get it now.
Yep. So this is interesting. If for non-validators, just for regular folks at home, if you'd like to help and participate, you can run a normal node that's not a validator, but you're helping us. It's just like Ethereum. You're running a full node. You're sharing the blockchain with the other nodes. You're just sharing your bandwidth and your hard drive space with the community. You're helping us. You're helping the PulseChain stay alive. For those folks, you can open a port on your firewall and you can forward it to the server, and it increases the amount of peers that you find. It makes it more robust. But for security on validators, we don't do that. We don't even open that port. So my validators and all the other validators, they are locked down tight, man. Like you can't log in externally. There's really no way to hack it. And what's cool too is even the wallet because you have to make a MetaMask wallet for the validator server. It actually has its own private key inside of it. That has 0 pulse in it. So even if you hacked my validator, even if you stole my private keys, I don't care. It's empty because all the fees go to a different wallet, and I'll just make another server. So it's like, it's really like 0 risk, man. Like none of us are going to get hacked. You're not going to lose your coins. Like because I could just wipe the thing and re-download Linux and everything for free. So it's easy.
While you're talking about this, my security brain is just like coming up with these attack scenarios. So I'm thinking, okay, you could, if there's a bug, so on the validator, if you're using a client, you're probably not going to use a web browser, but hey, if you even use curl, use like all these programs to go out and talk to other systems. If there's a security vulnerability in one of the clients you're using over the network, that could be an attack vector. So you could, watch what you do, like don't allow external traffic as much as possible, or like, whitelist certain things like that. If you talk about using the VPN, so if they were steal your credentials and log into the network, now they have access to stuff. So the client side aspect on the node, and then the credentials for the VPN need to be kept secure. Other than that, I mean, that's like the 2 most straightforward attacks I can think of on it that you would need to protect against. But it's very good to know there's not, there's nothing, there's no listening. It's not listening on the network over the internet, especially.
Yes,
that's a big attack surface for servers. Usually, you got a web server running, you got 480, 443 open, all this stuff, and there could be attacks on the website and the code there and stuff. But that's validators that you have a lot of reduced attack surface. So that's very good to know.
Yeah, it helps. Even the program, what's it called? UFW in Linux, it's like Universal Firewall.
That's how you configure the firewall.
Yeah, you can set that to like no inbound allowed. So it's only like outbound from your box, and like it runs just fine. So it's pretty tight. It's not bad. Pretty secure.
Yeah. Firewall, keep your stuff patched. Don't talk to websites, or don't talk to other servers that you don't trust. Yeah, there's some security 101 there.
Yep.
Cool.
And with the Ubuntu, I'm subscribed to the I forget what the hell like live. They call it like Ubuntu Live patching. It's free if you sign up on Ubuntu on their website. The server it'll patch itself, even the Linux kernel, without needing to reboot. So I don't have any downtime.
Live patch is legit. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's the biggest pain. That's the biggest reason people don't patch, is they need to reboot something. With the server, you got to reboot the server because you got to load, new patches if you're upgrading your kernel. You got to reboot your browser, or restart your browser if you're doing security patches on that, which you should always do, because that's the number one way people get hacked is out-of-date browser. Clicking on running an exe, clicking on a phishing email. Keep your stuff up to date. At least get rid of the stuff that's not like the trickery type attacks and then there's a whole other mindset to help with that. But live patch is legit. No, that's good, man. That's giving me some faith that running a validator is a little harder to screw up, I'll say, and it's a lot harder to hack than a lot of people might think, coming from the industry, if you know technology.
Yeah, totally. And it's pretty low risk. And even if I go offline, the penalties for a validator, let's say I just lose internet, right? It's not a hack or anything. Maybe just the fiber goes out. First, you get misdemeanors. Basically, what happens is after it takes 90 seconds, because it's 3-second blocks and there's 33 validators, so it's actually 99 seconds for a rotation. So my server needs to be online within 99 seconds. If it's not, and my turn comes but I'm not there, I get skipped, and you get what's called slashed. So it skips my turn and somebody else gets my block, and then they keep going. After like a couple of those, like after like 10 minutes of you being offline, the system says, okay, you're offline, you've missed too many blocks, you're done for the day. And then you're just sort of stopped. You don't make any more money for the day. If you're still offline for like another hour or two, then you get what's called a felony. Then you are literally kicked out for like the rest of the day or multiple days. You might be like, I might be kicked out of rotation for 2 days, and then I have to wait for 48 hours, and then I get let back in. So that's the only penalty, is just you were losing future earnings, but the Pulse in our wallets will never be deleted. So there's no penalty. You don't lose money. We're just not making money. So there's really
you're
no
not paying
risk.
a fine. You're just getting a day off of work.
Yeah, exactly.
Go home early today.
Yeah. Go home early today. We're not paying you for the rest of the day, kind of thing. That's the worst that happens. So even if I do go offline, it's like, who cares? Like, it's not even that big of a deal. What would you do? We lost a couple hours of profit. Doesn't matter.
3 strikes, you're out, sir.
Yeah. and
that would be funny if that was a rule too.
That would be funny. And then on the website, it tracks it. So you can see on every validator, how many misdemeanors do they have, how many felonies, and how many blocks has it been since that last happened.
Nice. Yeah, I saw that on some of the testnet the preview type stuff. That was pretty cool. How it counts all the stats for validators.
Yeah.